We're off to a good start again, guys. The slurping is back. We're so back.
Look at this guy. He's already beating me to it. He's like,
dude, I want to save my coffee for the rest of the episode, but
He drank half his coffee already.
You're actually halfway done.
drinking in about one sip.
on one of the previous episodes, we got in 2 minutes, and I was already done.
Yeah,
Dude,
he
that's
was
crazy.
going
I
nuts.
was
So
sad.
let's clink in really quick. You know, a little.
Oh yeah, I like this. The boys' night. Let's go.
Yes. All right, I'll take a sip of mine really quick.
Oh, should I do mine too?
Are y'all just gonna?
Y'all just gonna clink and
Do I
not
have
sip?
a-
You gotta
like
clink
right
and
here?
sip.
Do I have a whipped cream mustache?
You really do.
No, you don't.
Like
good
you
thing
don't.
we do.
You have no mustache.
Are we good now?
No, we're so good now.
That beard is looking A1.
Oh, it is, right?
Thank you.
Oh, your beard too.
Thank you,
Is my beard looking good? Do you like it?
Your beard's looking so
Big
good.
and luscious.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been growing it out for a long time.
All right. So to just address a little circumstance here, I decided to wear black.
As you.
Obviously, yeah, as usual, you know me wearing black, and then walking upstairs, and I saw Kevin wearing black, but Ryan is not wearing black, and I thought, okay, cool, it's all good, it's all good,
Black.
and then you show up,
Yeah.
and you're wearing all black,
And bro is wearing a little black.
Wearing a little black.
so we're all just blending into the shadows.
Okay, look.
That's the best way to do it.
It's about to be our darkest episode.
This is the Dark Ryan arc. I didn't have many materials with which to make coffee, with which to craft these beautiful
Dude, it was
drinks.
so good.
See, I had
Literally.
white mocha for yours. I had lots of-
Oh, you added white mocha to it.
Yes.
Okay.
White mocha. How did you know? Because that is actually my favorite. I'm not
I mean,
even
it's the
kidding.
sweetest thing I had. And you said you like sweet coffee, so I was just like,
Oh yeah.
Did you know my nickname in high school was the white mocha?
Don't lie.
I thought it was the.
I can't
Scarlet
lie. I'm
syrup
not
or
surprised. That's
Wait,
a great
what?
nickname.
That's a
White
good
mocha.
nickname. Is that
No,
true?
no, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
I
This
believed
guy's
him for a second.
liar.
I believed
Yeah,
him.
you see, I wanted to get you guys.
No, honestly, I thought that was true for a second.
Yeah.
'Cause, Bro,
Yeah, I
bro,
would
you're
believe
giving
that.
white mocha.
Can we just call him the white mocha from now on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
The white mocha.
Hey, there's the white mocha.
Your great majesty, the white mocha.
The white mocha. We'll see you now.
Oh boy.
No, that one was good. The white mocha.
I like that. I like that.
Guys, I might be flabbergasted after that one, right?
You're blushing, man.
How can you tell?
Okay,
So
so-
I'm blushing.
Okay, there's something I gotta address, and I've been told this a lot, that especially recently. My face, whenever I laugh or I'm in, is just literally, my face just goes flush red,
Dude,
every
same.
single time.
Same.
No,
It's,
same here.
it's bad. I mean, I've turned into Bob the Tomato.
I don't know. So I don't know if I do.
Bob the tomato with a beard.
Yes.
Dude.
Dude.
Very Irish,
that's-
Scottish Bob the Tomato.
Very
right?
sticking very much to the stereotype. Well done.
It's working, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I appreciate that. So, Isaac,
Yes.
obviously, we all know your story. You have such a cool story, but we want to hear again just the cool story that you have. So, can you kind of walk us through from?
Okay. Guys, this is supposed to be the dark episode.
This is so
dark. Come on, we're all wearing black.
We all wore black.
It's
We both,
hard,
like,
laughing.
it's hard sometimes because Isaac and I are consistently just laughing at each other. I've said before, if I had gone to school with Isaac,
Oh, we would have.
no one would have got homework.
would have been kicked out.
No, literally.
Oh, we would have been expelled. We would have been kicked out.
I can literally
100%.
look across the room at Isaac.
Oh my god, yes, it's so
Wow.
true, bro.
It's so bad.
No, we literally look at each other. We just can't keep a straight face.
No, yeah, I think so. People get mad. I remember the last time we went to Papagayo and
Yeah.
we were eating there, bro. It was wild.
No,
we
it's so bad.
No, it's so bad.
Literally, I had to stare up at the ceiling. I was just trying to enjoy my burrito. And bro, I was literally, bro, I would be just eating my burrito and I'd turn and bro would be going,
Yeah, bro, it's in that face. It's over, man.
Bro, I hit him with that face.
He just goes,
It's done.
oh, I can't handle it, man. I was just trying to enjoy my burritos and I'm
dude, Isaac said no.
And bro,
Laugh at me.
I'm gonna be freaking halfway through my sad sap story and just be like, I'm just gonna look at Caleb and we're just gonna lose it.
I'm legit just gonna have to look at Kevin moment. You're just speaking to me and I'm just
He's looking at Kevin. He's just looking up in the air. Just
Dang, Isaac,
wow, that's
great.
a great,
That's
a
crazy,
great thing.
bro. Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy, Isaac.
That's crazy, Isaac.
Whoa, can you run by that really traumatic event again?
Just like, how did
So I'm covering my face so I don't laugh at your traumatic event that you
There's
went
no
through.
way midway through the story you're gonna burst into laughter, bro. I'm so scared.
And then Isaac's just gonna be like, yeah, and I couldn't walk from and that's gonna be Caleb. He's gonna be like,
Bro. If this happens, bro.
No, you literally. If I'm the host. And I'm supposed to be serious.
very serious.
Your match
Serious?
today.
Serious. The white mocha is
White mocha.
White mocha, yeah.
Dude,
Oh
in our little Gotham right now, that's White Mocha.
white mocha.
Is our superhero.
You know what's crazy? I literally was just watching Justice League last night.
There you go.
Did you watch the Justice League movie from Zack Snyder?
Yeah, Zack Snyder's one. I think I like that one better. I don't like that the frame is like 4x3 or whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm not a video guy, but the black bars are on the side. It's not.
That's 4x3.
Yeah, I like that for like video stuff, but I don't think for a movie I like that. It just feels a little.
I mean, there's a reason why we stopped doing that in the 60s.
It also, well, it's a really good effect to make stuff look old.
it does.
Yeah, but it's a modern movie, and
Yeah.
it doesn't look vintage at all.
It doesn't.
It's
Yeah, well, it's in black and white too, right?
Yeah, I had clicked on that and I was like, wait,
the Snyderverse
Why is it-
movie
You
is
actually-
in.
the Snyderverse?
Yeah, I like it.
Wait,
You were accidentally
Oh.
watching it on Kevin's phone.
No,
Exposed.
Exposed.
He's colorblind.
you know what?
He can't see colors.
Oh no, please. Okay. My phone is in grayscale, but it's for a reason, so I'm not on it as much. I freaking
know what?
probably
You know
still
what?
in the
I like that.
1950s.
I like
Thank you,
that.
thank
Good
you.
idea.
See, thank you.
He forgot to turn on the
You know,
color.
I'm gonna be real. If I could put my phone away and just stop looking at it for a couple weeks, literally not respond to anybody, social media, nothing, I would love to.
Yeah,
I would love to.
That would actually
Absolutely.
be so nice. Oh my god.
You know what? Let's cheers to that.
Yeah,
Let's cheers. Cheers to that. Cheers to that. Oh,
Cheers. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Do I
Caleb's coffee just breaks, spills all over the computer.
do I have a whipped cream mustache or am I so?
No, dude, we wouldn't tell you even if you did.
Oh yeah, I know.
That'd be so funny.
That'd be so awkward.
No, just look in there. You don't have one.
That'd be so awkward if this whole episode I just have a
Milk
giant
mustache.
It's like Isaac. So let's.
Isaac. Isaac. What? All you see is his mustache. Isaac. Tell me about this traumatic experience that you went through.
Oh my gosh. I got
Isaac.
Go.
Isaac.
Gotta lock in.
Lock in.
I'm so locked in.
Dude, I am too.
that's the White Mocha.
Whoa. It's the white mocha.
It's a white mocha.
The white mocha. The white mocha is kicking in.
Guys, it's that meme.
Oh yeah, it is.
We're all just
No, bro,
pointing
hit you
at
with
each
the-
other.
Everyone.
Everybody else the thumbnail.
I'm running out of coffee.
Dude, put your hand up.
It's like we're on a roller coaster.
I once was in the theater. I was seeing. Wait, I have a point.
He's like,
I once was in the theater.
I was.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Me too. Bro hit him with the bro. I didn't ask. So I went to a movie. I think it was Avengers: Age of Ultron, and I went with a bunch of people from my co-op, and there was this one guy. You know they play the ad with the roller coaster.
Yes, every movie.
Yeah, he was.
with
he
the popcorn and all that.
He was, and I'm not gonna say his name. If you're listening to this, I apologize. But he literally put up his hands and he was going "Wee!" during that whole thing.
I love that.
Who would that be?
What if it was just me actually, and I was just guys?
No, but then,
That's what I'm
you wouldn't have been going. Wee! You would have been going.
Yeah, white mocha. White mocha only goes brown.
yeah.
Dude, that's how you know you're the white mocha.
Yeah.
If when you're on a roller
is
coaster
the
and
white
you don't go, you go. You might.
Wait. So, like the bat signal in the sky, what would be his signal? Like a coffee cup in the sky?
Yeah,
No,
it's
what?
just like there's no actual like coffee in there. It's just a bunch of cream.
Yes.
Wait, that would just look like
It's just-
poop, was it not? Like the. Is it not just like
No,
Hey man, you can't always.
it's like
you
it's
can't
up
always
to
choose.
interpretation.
It's up to interpretation. The white mocha is a very subjective guy.
Yeah.
he likes art.
my bat signal would be a gallon of milk.
A gallon of milk.
what?
Well, you got so much I love milk.
No, milk is great.
Dude, I do drink a lot of milk. I could like literally drink like a freaking okay. This might be a hot take. I do not like the taste typically of like regular milk, like 2% or whatever.
No, I agree.
I like,
You like whole milk?
warm milk. No, just kidding. I like super cold milk, super cold. Like sometimes even putting ice in it. If you know, like it needs to
that's
be
basically
icy
what this
cold. Yeah, exactly. Iced sugar. And
Milk with extra steps.
Pretty much. Yep.
like, so the lactose intolerant milk, the one that comes in the blue.
Remember,
That's
what we
so
drink.
good.
That's what we
It's
drink.
so good. It's way better than regular milk.
In
It's
our
way better
fridge,
than
we
regular
have 6 of them right now.
milk. I'm getting one. No,
No,
I'm
I'm
the only one
actually,
with regular milk.
I'm actually lacking in the
Traitor.
Fairlife. I need to go.
Traitor.
You all betrayed me.
Betrayed me.
I need to actually go to the store and get some milk.
Okay, it's-
Can you get some for me while you're there?
I mean, bro, just Venmo me.
Dang, dude. What if I just don't and you just do it?
Dang, that would be a servant's heart, which I do have.
that would
so I
be-
might actually. Oh, you know I would do that. You know if you just texted me and said, "Dude, can you pick
I
me
do
some
know that.
up from
I
the
do
store?"
know
I would do it. I mean,
Caleb is a G. Let's all give it up for Caleb.
Oh, the white mocha.
The white mocha. The white mocha.
Wait, we should probably censor that so that people don't discover a secret identity.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm actually the.
I'm actually the.
Future Kevin?
no. Our future Kevin.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before we move on from milk, I mean, like, I have a story, a great story from back in my freshman year of college. The dorm was putting on this competition. They're like, Ryan, you need to get down here. This competition is perfect for you. I'm like, okay. This is back when I was really antisocial, and I just want to play Minecraft in my room.
Nice.
I still want to do that.
Yeah,
That's like still like what the frick am I doing? Like
Personally, I like to go out and work with people.
Man, I was
I respect that. Get out.
No,
I respect that.
No, but so where everyone is massed on the lawn in front of East Campus, and I see in the middle of the crowd is a line of milk jugs full.
Heaven.
And they're like, who amongst you will partake in a contest of strength and endurance? And I'm like,
What?
I immediately shoot my hand up, and I'm brought up there with a bunch of other champions, and we were given a task.
Champions for Christ.
Champions for Christ. That's right. And they say, all right, we're gonna pair you off. You guys have to see who can drink milk the fastest.
Oof.
And like my dorm pushes me up. They're like, this guy, he will answer the call. And so I get up there, and there's this other guy, and they give us half a gallon of milk. And they're
That's
like,
easy.
go. Yeah, it's easy.
Nah,
I am not this thing.
Caleb, like I had that last night.
I literally had that with my chocolate chip cookies last night.
And that stuff is just disappearing into my stomach. And this other guy, he was doing okay, but he was struggling. He was
Dang.
like, he did not look good.
Bro was taking the L.
So I won. I made it all the way up to the finals, and I had to fight this big guy. We had to wrestle for a jug of
Bigger
milk.
than me?
Bigger than you.
Dude, that's
I had to fight
No fat shaming.
that's
this massive guy.
Big.
Yeah, like he was
guy.
tall,
Okay,
like
yeah.
massive built guy. He looked like he had just got done drinking a protein shake or two.
Right.
that's crazy.
And so
Before the milk.
Before the milk. And there's on the other side of him is a gallon of milk. Whole raw milk. The good stuff.
Oof.
And so
Straight from the cow.
yeah, straight from the
cow.
Like
Straight from the udder.
They literally
from the
just
udder.
yeah. And so I employ my secret technique. I go underneath him between the legs. And I
What?
I grab the gallon.
Where is this going?
I get the milk and then I drink it all. I win.
Why did you grab it from underneath his leg?
No, I had to go under. I had to go under him.
What?
Because he was tall.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
What's wrong with you?
No, I see it.
Why didn't you just jump over him, bro?
No, because it's
Jump
your
over him.
I'm Super Mario, actually.
Dude, it's a Mario. Just jump over him.
Oh my god.
That's the story of milk.
That's wild. Was this was here?
Yeah,
Are you for
At
real?
East Campus.
yeah, and I won.
Oh, what?
Dude, I had that milk. It was delicious.
I bet.
Best
Probably had never had a better cup of milk
I
since
fought so hard for that milk. It tasted.
Dude, did you have like extreme bloating after that?
What a question.
Man, I can imagine.
But it
Lighting up those sheets when you got home in bed. You were just
Oh my god!
like everywhere. I can just imagine.
Worth it though.
I'm so sorry, audience, for that image.
Future Kevin.
They clicked on it knowing. They clicked on this knowing that there was going to be a wild guest.
All right. Anyways, we'll circle back to that another time. So,
Yeah, take it away.
Can we do it right now? Can we circle back to it right now?
bro, we're gonna talk about something else.
His signal is giving off right now.
We're going from milk to sad and depressed.
It's supposed to be the dark episode.
No, I know. It's too lighthearted, man. We got a walking
This
dude.
is called this episode is called Bittersweet. That's what it's
Oh,
called.
that's so good.
Like my
Tell us your sob story now.
All right, Isaac, I'm locked in.
Okay, I'm locked in. We're all trying to hear it. Anyways, all right.
So, Isaac, walk us through kind of what you dealt with as a kid, because a lot of us know your story, but there are many more of us who don't know your story. So, walk us through it.
Yeah, first of all, like for real though, guys, I'm really thankful for you guys like asking me to be a part of this for real. Yeah. It means
Dude, that's fun.
I love being able to share my story wherever I can go. And yeah, so I was born in upstate New York, and I had a great childhood, up till I was about like 10 years old. And then when I was 10, this is kind of where like things get crazy. So I was always an outdoors kid. I loved to fish. I loved to hike, all that type of stuff. But my dad was in Christian camping, and we moved around to a lot of different camps. So we were in Massachusetts. Then we were in, we started in New York, Massachusetts, then went to California, then to Virginia. So we were like all over the place.
You're very worldwide.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, like literally traveled across the country as a kid 3 times in the car, in the back of the car, literally from okay, so it was from California to Massachusetts. Then we did another trip to California to Virginia. And that was literally, it was insane. Anyways,
Dang, dude.
That's a lot.
but during this time, so I went out in the woods like I always do with my friends, and I came home and I had like a really big rash on my side, and we were like, we didn't know what it was. We didn't know if it was a tick, if it was like a spider, a mosquito. We didn't know, and we went to the doctor, and when I went out into the woods this one day, we don't know what I was bit by, but I came home, and we don't know if it was like a spider, mosquito, or tick. Because here's the thing, I'll get into this a little bit more, but like ticks carry Lyme disease and up to 300 different co-infections, which are like diseases.
Yeah, they're bad.
And
So you don't want to get
in and
bit
of
by a
themselves.
tick.
Yeah, no, you
That
don't.
makes
Like
sense, yeah.
as everybody knows, like I don't like step in like fields with like high grass or whatever, and people are like, "What? Why you not do that?" But it's like, literally, bro. I'm going on a rabbit trail right now, but literally a couple months ago, I was with one of my videographers, and I was wearing fully white pants for this video that we were doing.
Yeah.
I stepped out into a field with grass about probably 2 feet high, and I looked down, and there's ticks everywhere.
You could see them.
Oh my word, they're everywhere.
Oh.
And I was like, and this is like just a couple months ago after I had gone through what I'm about to explain, but like,
Right.
it was like that, like it's scary. People look, obviously, because like a lot of people are not informed. They just think Lyme disease is like whatever, but Lyme disease is like a new cancer, and people don't realize it. They don't see it.
It's an actual cancer?
It's not a cancer, but it's like a cancer.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's so prevalent now.
Right.
But anyways, she took a picture of this rash. The doctor saw it. The doctor said, if you're debilitated in a month, then you'll know you have Lyme. Which,
Oh my God.
why would you say that and not like start on medication?
And you were 10 years old.
10 years old, yeah. Yeah. So this was wild. And about 30 days later, like a month later, I was out and I was on a run with my brother. And I will never forget it. We were living in Massachusetts at the time. And I came home, went to bed, and woke up, and it was like the flu just hit me. I was like, what is going on? My sore throat, headaches, like chill, everything. And then time starts to pass, and I start to get worse. I start to be able to lose my ability to walk. My parents had to like take my mattress in my room upstairs and put it down in their office next to their bedroom because I had to like, couldn't really go up and down the stairs. So I spent the summer there. I remember that was just a vividly dark time in my life, like when I was 10 and in bed, and that was very dark. I remember looking out the window and always being like, why can't I play outside like other kids? This, obviously you're 10, you're thinking that. And
Yeah.
I was definitely angry at God. I didn't obviously I was 10. I didn't really have a super strong relationship with God, but I was saved when I was 5. And I was definitely angry at God. I didn't understand. And, I remember there was just literally, I remember when it started, the headaches started happening and started being chronic headaches every single day. Then it was lesions in my throat, like ulcers like that big. I couldn't like swallow my own spit. I couldn't drink a smoothie. It was so painful.
Was it hard to talk? I mean,
Oh yeah, I would talk like this, like super, like kind of like this to try to like stop it hurting.
Was it painful to talk?
Super, yeah. So everything was like, everything felt like crap. You know what I mean? But anyways, I started to eventually get better, and I'm 13 at this time, and it's been about 3 years. I'm a lot better to the point where I'm able to like do things that I normally was able to do. And we had moved here to Virginia,
Yeah.
and so I went to a private school, and this is kind of when things started to get really wild. So this is something I don't typically share when I like share my story, but I think it's fine to share. I had to have a bunch of different vaccinations to go to school, and we didn't know, but they were too closely bundled together, and I had like 4 different ones, and all hell broke loose after that happened. So I had ticks, like little eye twitch ticks, like little blinking ticks and stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I think Tourette's, you're born with it. But once I got these vaccinations, I went into school having this, like, my arm would like move and I'd make like a shrieking noise, kind of similar to what happens now.
Yeah.
And I was diagnosed with Tourette's, and half of the doctors that we went to thought it was Tourette's, and the other half thought it was, Lyme disease. And
Like
it was just
symptoms.
yeah, exactly, like like a tick disorder. So we eventually, my parents went back to homeschooling me because I had been homeschooled my whole life. So I was in there for 1 year. But this is, again, I have to keep prefacing because this is when things get even worse. So I go down a way, way worse path with my health. I start having a bunch of crazy symptoms coming back. You can have Lyme disease and not have symptoms. And so Lyme disease, I'm kind of having all these symptoms again. And then I think it's about 2016, end of 2016, I'm just starting to go downhill. And 2017 rolls around, and I'm going downhill even more. Mentally, I'm in a super dark place. I feel like crap all the time. I literally would be in my room for a week at a time. I wouldn't come down to family dinners. I would never, like, literally people would come up and...
You isolated yourself.
Yeah, very much. I was in my room, like, all the time. And, like, my family, I remember, like, my brother and my sister would come up and sit there, and they would literally be talking to me, and I would just... Ignore. I couldn't even, like, if you knew me then, you wouldn't know. You weren't like, the same. I was not the same Isaac. I was a whole different person.
Yeah.
This is when I started to really develop my craft for music, because what I would do when I sat in my room and I was in pain, I was in a very dark place, the only thing that I would do is really make music and make beats. So that's all that I did. And so 2017 is crazy. End of 2017, I'm even worse, right? So I have to have a super crazy treatment called IVIG. So a home nurse had to come to my home for a month, or for 3 days every month for 18 months. And she would come and administer this treatment. It's kind of like a human plasma product that is being put into you. And it's very, after this treatment is done, you feel like a truck hit you. And
You have a headache and
oh, yeah.
like that.
I mean, on top of everything else that I'm going through, this is, the treatment's making me feel way worse.
Yeah.
And, I'm getting stuck with IVs 9 times a day. Like, they can't find my veins. They're like, all right, we're going to do it again. They're fish. I mean, it was wild. Like,
Yeah.
and being hooked up to an IV bag all day, literally 8 hours a day for 3 days a month. And then I really just could only sit in a chair or, like, lay in bed. That was all that I did. So I was pretty much bedridden at that point. And then the next thing that happened was I had to have a catheter, a foot-long catheter, heart catheter inserted into my chest. So that went all the way a foot down into my heart. It stayed there, and then it hung out of my chest. And this thing was wild, dude. I mean, it was bleeding all. It looked like I got, like, shot. Like,
I don't even know
blood
if
was
I've
just.
seen these pictures before.
I have them. I've shared them on my social media before.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, like, insane. So there was like 2 prongs that stuck out of the catheter because there was what had to happen next was I had to go through this way more invasive treatment on top of IVIG called plasmapheresis. Plasmapheresis is where I had to go to New York. My family had to take me to New York for a week out of every month for 6 months on top of IVIG. So basically I was hooked up for about 10 days out of the month. And so we went here, and I was in a cancer ward with a bunch of other people. They had cancer, who's getting treatments. It's sad, dude.
Yeah.
Seeing, like, all these people, like, with blood hanging in bags and drip. Like, it's insane. So there's this huge machine. I mean, it's like probably that big. It's got wires and things everywhere. And they hook that up to me. I remember this. The first treatment happened 2 days before my 16th birthday. And I went in, and we were in New York, got the treatment, they hooked it up, and literally this is how it works. They take it all out, all of my blood in my body out through this thing, and spin it in the machine 1.5 times. So it's going out of my body, all the blood, and then it's coming back in through the other tube, and it's cleaning it. So it's taking out all the bad plasma, and there's a huge bag of bad plasma. It's like very dark. It's not supposed to look dark.
Yeah.
And there's 20 bottles of albumin. They're hanging from hooks that are pumping into me at the same time that are like another human plasma product. And then I'm also being infused with a medicine to like an anti-sickness medicine, nausea medicine. I remember the first time I had this treatment, I can't explain like how yucky it felt to just like sit there and all the blood be out of your body and spinning in. I felt cold and like I didn't have any warmth at all. And it was like, it was wild. But I like upchucked and threw it all up once I had my first treatment. It was my body just like the shock of my body was like,
I can
this is
imagine.
not normal.
Yeah, it's not normal. to have that.
It was crazy. It was wild. And yeah, so that treatment lasted for 6 months. That absolutely sucked. But after that was done, I continued to do IVIG, this treatment. And then this is 2018. So 2018 rolls around. This, I would say, is probably the darkest year of my life. This is where this might be a little crazy, but
We want honesty and openness on when we talk, because
just like a preface warning of triggering to viewers, like I remember my first time thinking about suicide. I was 11, and I remember thinking about jumping out the window and hurting myself or killing myself, and things got super dark, even darker in 2018. And I mean, I remember like my parents literally didn't know what to do. I remember there was times I was just literally in my room, just like weeping and sobbing. I remember this was when I knew it was really bad. Like, I knew it wouldn't have killed me, but it would have hurt me. I took the screen off my window and opened my window, and I was about to jump out. And I was like, I wanted to hurt myself or kill myself somehow. my parents had to hide the knives in the house because literally all I could think about was like, cutting my throat, killing myself. Like, so it was super dark.
Yeah. Horrific.
And, but yeah, I just remember these times. My dad came in and sat with me one time and I was just like weeping and I was just like, about to end it all. And I remember there was this one time, I was in my room and my dad, I didn't know, but he was outside my door on his knees just praying for me outside of my door and I didn't even know it. My family's always been my rock. But 2018 was crazy. But end of 2018, at this time, we had so many different doctors and I had blood work all the time. I think we added it up through the whole time. I had over, how when you go and get blood work and they do a vial? I had over 500 of those taken. So, I remember the most.
What is that? I mean,
I don't know, but it's a lot.
That's a lot of needles.
A lot of needles. A lot of needles. Yeah, you know what's crazy though is nothing's worse than, well, there is worse, but it's what is I really hate is IV needles because they have to thread it through the vein. And that's why it hurts so bad because they literally, I remember I counted it one day when the nurse came, I got 9 times that they tried to find a vein and not just stuck it in and they're fishing everywhere for the vein. And it's like, my God.
So
it hurts so bad.
Not only that there's, a needle inside of your arm, you're just, you have to sit there and kind of deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
Watching it. And that's obviously not fun.
Yeah,
horrific.
and this is like during when did I start this treatment? When I was 14. 14 I started this treatment. Wow, that's crazy.
So 8 years ago, or
yeah. So like I started this treatment at 14 and then had all the this is during this is just me sharing my story, but I like to preface it because I'm not trying to make it sound like, oh, woe is me, I'm so sad. But
dude,
I just know that some people
You were having a tough time.
I just know people. Some people would be like, oh, well, toughen up. But I don't care. But anyways, I look back at it now. This is the time where people are getting their first car. They have a girlfriend. They're going to school. They're figuring out what they want to do with life. Literally life was put on pause for me. For most of my childhood, everything was on pause. I didn't get a car. I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't have friends. I didn't know anybody except my family. Yeah. When I tell you there wasn't friends, I probably part of that was being homeschooled a lot of my life, but because sometimes being homeschooled, you don't have a lot of friends, but it was super lonely, dude. But all these different doctors and stuff that we went to, we had spinal taps and MRIs and all this crazy stuff. I remember this one time I'm kind of going off track, but I was in a doctor's office or the surgery part of the hospital.
Operating room?
Yeah, the operating room. And do you know what a spinal tap is?
I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to know.
So they stick a massive needle into your spine and take out the fluid in your spine. So this was wild. I remember literally I had to lay face down and I could see them do it in the x-ray. You can watch them put the needle in. So I was watching
that's what you want to see.
Yeah, exactly. It was horrible, dude. But I remember they took out so much, and the doctor was actually mad because he didn't I think my doctor had asked them to take out a certain amount, and they don't normally do that. They took out way more than they should, or normally had to. Yeah. And I remember the doctor just being ticked off that he had to take that much out, and it was bad. It was wild. I remember literally my parents had to take me in the back of the Suburban. I literally laid down in the back on the way home, the whole way home. It was wild. That was funny enough. That was super random, but that was the day of the eclipse. That was in 2017.
Oh, wow.
It was. Do you remember that?
I do remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember
So that was the day that happened.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's wild. I this whole time that I'm getting plasmapheresis and everything, I'm in a wheelchair. My dad's pushing me literally across the streets of New York City in a wheelchair. And we stayed at this hotel across the street from the cancer ward. And at this time, this is also another part of my story. I'm being really open today because I've kind of gotten to the point in my story. Like, I've always been open, but like there's certain parts of my story that I won't say because it might be like too much for people, or it might, but it's just part of my story. Like, I remember like the doctor would prescribe me with pain meds, and I was such in a dark place. I needed those pain meds to help. This was during my plasmapheresis, but it got to the point where like I started to become super dependent on the pain meds because it gives you a burst of euphoria, and I didn't experience that. Sure. When I tell you dark, obviously the suicidal stuff, but you know what's crazy is most people would think, oh, you probably wanted to get out of that and not be sick anymore, right? And like, no, I wanted to be there. If you think about it like an abusive relationship, like sometimes they stay with each other because that's all they know. All I knew was darkness. All I knew was sadness, pain, hurt. That's all I wanted. The only thing that I could make me feel good is like other people's sympathy. So when people were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for you." That's what I fed on. That's like literally what like kept me like
It was
going.
an addiction.
Yeah. And so I wanted to stay sick, and I wanted to stay like I was. Because, dude, I'm a teenager, a young teenager. I don't know what going to school is like. I don't know what pursuing your dreams is. All I know is pain and needles and sadness and sorrow and blah, 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 over and over and over again. Like, that's all I knew.
Did you feel like you deserved it in a way at times at all? Did you feel?
Probably, yeah. Probably. I don't remember that being something that I always thought about, but that's a good question. I would say probably. But yeah, it's a lot of people are like, man, you probably were like praying to really get. You know what's wild? I'll tell you this story. So when we were in New York, we there's a church called the Brooklyn Tabernacle.
Yeah.
And we went to this church. The first time we went there, because we had to spend 6 different months in New York. The first time we went there, I couldn't go, and there was this Tuesday night prayer service, right? And my mom would be, she went to this, and they asked for, I think somehow somebody knew in the church that I needed prayer, and the pastor asked my mom and me to stand up, I think, for prayer. And like this whole big audience, I mean, there's thousands of people, and I wasn't there, so my mom stood up for prayer. But anyways, the next time we went, I was in my wheelchair, and this feels like a dream, low key, because it's so crazy that this happened. But this actually happened. I was in the church, thousands of people in there, they're worshiping, praying, and the pastor calls me and my mom and dad down to the front. And when I say like this like gets me emotional, but like everybody in the crowd, every single person was standing up, and all these people came, everybody in the church like came to the front to put their hands over me. Everybody, like the whole church, thousands of people, and they're praying for my healing. And the whole time, that's why I prefaced with saying I wanted to stay sick, because it'll only make sense. When I was in that wheelchair and they were all praying for me, I was praying to God to not heal me. That was how far gone I was. Like, I was like, God, please don't heal me. Don't heal me. Don't heal me. I don't want to be healed. Like, no. It's all I knew. So when I say that, like, it was wild. And that just shows you how reversed and crazy things were. For me to think that is wild. But I think I hated myself for a long time for thinking that. Once I got better, I was like, why did I think that? Now I have grace on myself because I knew, I literally didn't know what I know now. I hadn't experienced freedom. I hadn't experienced being a normal person. So I give grace on my old self for knowing that. And I'm okay to share that part of my story but I used to be ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Like, man, you should be so ashamed of yourself that you wanted sympathy. Dog, that's all I knew. That's all I knew. What was I supposed to do?
You didn't want to
Like,
break from
yeah.
the routine that you had.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know, I didn't know any better. So, but yeah, anyways, 2019 rolls around, and then we eventually, after all these different doctors and all these tests and everything I've been through, we went to this one doctor in Virginia Beach, right? And it was a natural and wellness clinic. We had never, you know, with Lyme disease and having all the stuff that I've had and being pushed in a wheelchair all over, there's been people who've come up to me literally with cards and been like, hey, like, have you tried smoking weed for like what you're doing? Like, have you I mean, like everybody, people in church, they'll come up and be like, hey, have you tried this? What about this doctor? There's a million different voices. And meanwhile, I'm telling you my story, my side of the story, but my mom is like, and my dad are like the only reason I'm alive, because they're sitting there. My dad's taking off all this time to go and travel. My mom, her entire life with me sick was just her being obsessed with getting me well, finding the doctor. We literally had a GoFundMe and it raised about $70,000. So IVIG, that treatment that I was talking about, is $20,000 per box that came to the house that you had to get, right? So $20,000 just for one month.
Yeah.
And 1 month is 3 days.
Yeah.
So, you know, insurance had to cover a lot of that, so we didn't have that. And, you know, people who were donating, literally, this is a really crazy story. It feels like a scene in a movie, but my mom actually, it was tight during this time financially for my parents, and having a son that was super sick, you know, made it super difficult. But there was this one time, there's a million other stories, but there was this one time where my mom went to the post office, and the whole time she had been saying to God, like, why can't there be excess? Why is it always tight? And why is there no room ever? Why is there no room? She needed 20. She didn't have, we were literally leaving the next day for me to go up to New York and have that treatment, plasmapheresis. She didn't have the money. She did not have the money. She didn't know I was going to get paid. They had to like work with her to be like, okay, this, you can do a payment plan or whatever. She went to the post office. She needed $2,500. She opens a letter. It falls out a check for $2,500, and then falls out a check and another letter for $5,000. So $7,500. Like, I'm literally getting chills talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Like, literally $7,500.
Do you know who said it?
I do. Now I know who sent it. But they were obviously anonymous donors. Like, I don't want to say their names, but like, they were, you know, very, very kind to do that. And it feels like a freaking scene in a movie, dude.
Yeah.
But that's how, like, you could tell God throughout that was orchestrating these things. You know what's wild too is my dad is like a pillar of faith for me. Somebody that I really look up to, very strong in his faith. This whole time he would always tell me, he'd be like, you know, son, God has a plan for this. And the whole time, obviously, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. Like, but I'm not taking that to heart. Like,
And you didn't want to get well.
no, I didn't want to get well. So having a plan for this, if I can, like, okay, so me right now, I'm an extremely driven person to a fault. I'm driven to the point where I will do anything to achieve what I want to achieve. I'll do whatever it takes. And back then, I had none of that. Literally none of that. All it was just being in bed and sick. That's it. So my view was like this. There was nothing else. So when my dad is on the outside, I'm like in the forest, right? My dad's on the outside and it's like, son, God has a plan. But like, I'm like, okay, like what? Like, I don't know. Now I know that he did. But during this whole thing, I'm not like super close with God. I mean, I remember my parents got me a jumbo text Bible and a bunch of highlighters and sticky tabs, and I would go through and I would highlight all these different verses. And I do remember, even though I wasn't super close with the Lord, there's this one verse that I read that was Exodus 14:14. It says, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Yeah. And that, as I was laying in bed every day and in that room, I remember that verse kind of clinging to me, like clinging to that verse as my life verse. But anyways, sorry, I get off topic, but 2019, we went to this health and wellness clinic in Virginia Beach, and he has these things called bioenergetic sprays. So they're like natural sprays. It's really weird, but it's like a natural concoction. It's like a spray, a bunch of them that you spray under your tongue, and they help after a long time reset your immune system to be able to fight off infection. So he like has to do a bunch of these tests to like see which sprays you need. I mean, I still have the box of sprays. I mean, it's probably over 20 and like 3 times a day. Like
They're
just
different
like,
types of sprays.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep. So they like reset your immune system. So after a bunch of months, I started to notice that I was getting better. And I remember this first time that what's crazy is I walked into church for the first time since not being in a wheelchair. I walked into church for the first time, and I remember feeling like I lost something. Like I feel now, like looking back on it, like I remember, like I feel like I lost a part of me, because I was like, I'm walking in here, and I feel like, like if it makes any sense, I'm just trying to explain it. Like my wheelchair and me being sick was my identity, right? So like everything revolved around that. Everything revolved around somebody, please give me sympathy so I can feel better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was like my only cure. Yeah, 100%. So when I walked into church for the first time, I was not happy. Not happy about that. I was not happy about being able to get better. I was not. Most people, be like, wow, you were probably so happy you were able to. I didn't know. So I was like, just like, what the frick? Like, I don't want to be better.
What do I do now?
Yeah, like it's almost like me being 18 or like 17 when I started to get better. It's almost like me being better. I had to like relearn everything, like relearn like about drive, about passion, about learning, about how to go do things. Like everything kind of had to start from scratch again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my whole childhood, it was like sick. So what do I do now?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's all you knew.
Yeah, it's all I knew.
Yeah.
So there was nothing else. So when I started to get better, I didn't want to, and I wasn't happy about it. But I remember this first time that, we went up to New York for a vacation where I was born, and I went kayaking for the first time with my friends since I had, gone through all this, and that was like really the first thing that I noticed, like, wow, okay, I am getting better. Because this whole time that I'm getting better, I'm trying to negate it in my mind. Like, no, you're not. You're not getting better. Don't.
Right.
Like, and I was psyching myself out. Like,
Gaslighting yourself.
yeah, gaslighting myself. Like, no, you're not getting better. You're still sick because you still want sympathy from people. And like I said, I really was ashamed of myself for that for so long. I'm actually super thankful to God and proud of myself that I've been able to overcome that. But I was really ashamed of myself for that. And then I had to really work through that over a course of years. But anyways, so yeah, I started to get better, started to be able to do things that I wasn't able to do. And this is like spring of 2019. Right. And during this time, Thomas Road, so the church that I go to, they had this thing called a My Road video. And, excuse me, they did one on me. And they came to my house. If you watch it, you can actually see me with the treatment and the IV bag and the pole with the IV in my arm while I'm in my studio playing the piano. They came and filmed me on one of my treatment days. So, they did this and spent a couple months making it, and they shared it in the church. When they did this My Road video, I was actually in the middle of one of my treatment days, one of the 3 days that the nurse came for 18 months, right? And during that day, they came and filmed one of the segments, and then they had me to their studio, and then a couple months later, they filmed the next segment. That was when I was hooked up. And this is when I'm like starting to really work on music and start to sing. When I was getting plasmapheresis in this whole treatment, I wasn't singing. I used to sing. I started when I was 9, but I didn't. I lost it, and I that wasn't a part of me. I didn't have any aspirations. So they did this My Road. You can literally go back and watch it, and I'm literally there playing the piano. They filmed me, and I got an IV in my hand, and there's a bag, and then with all the treatment going into me, and this video played in my church a couple months later, and obviously that's a mega church. There's like 3,000-4,000 people in the audience. And I remember being there. This was like the first time I've ever seen myself on like a big screen, right? And I go to the church, and after I share my story on the video, I'm not even kidding. There's a line of people coming up to me after, a line, like literally just waiting in line. People are sharing their story, testimonies. So there's one guy who comes up to me, and he wants to work with me now and do music. You got to understand, there was like, I didn't have any connections or like anything that I like had with music. This was all new. So I was like, whoa. I remember, and I should get back to this because this is also a very good state of mind that I was in. At that time, I had a notebook, and I would write every single blessing that would happen to me. So, there was a guy that came up to me in church, and he wants to work with me on a song. Okay, there's this happened. And I can just look through and see all the things that God started to do in my life. And I met this one guy who was super connected, worked with Danny Goki, a bunch of people, and he started to become my mentor. And then I just started to get better and better at music. And I remember, so like I said, we're leaving off like 2019, beginning of 2019, that's when I'm starting to get better. By August of 2019, I had made an EP, my first EP, and I released it, and we hosted a concert at that church. And, this was really big to me, and I released it. And that was amazing. It's absolute garbage, but, I just leave it. I leave it there.
Little plug.
I leave it there. Don't listen to it because it's horrible. But it's still on my Spotify and everything for people to listen to. I know people still relate with it, so I don't take it down. I want people to see my growth. But anyways, so yeah, probably around 2020, I released a song called "Have You Ever Felt Like," and for me, this song blew up. Not like when I'm saying blew up, it blew up like for me, like I mean, tens of thousands of views and streams and all that type of stuff. I'm coming from being sick and in a wheelchair to putting out a song and then seeing thousands of people stream it, and like that was like, whoa, like holy crap, this is crazy.
That's big.
Yeah. And I remember that we shot a video for it, and then I just started doing it more and more, and I started to get better. And this is where my music starts to really, like, me and my careers and my aspirations, everything starts to kick off. So 2020, I'm doing all these client projects, making my own music. Music has become a way of making money for me now too. But obviously, since I was a kid, I've written music as a therapy for myself. But yeah, there was this song that I wrote. You guys have heard it. It's called "Bury Myself."
Yeah.
It's now today my biggest song I have out. But that song was me just writing from a real place, and the music video we shot. Meanwhile, I didn't have anybody that I knew that did photos, that did video. I didn't, like I said, when I said I had zero connections, I mean it, zero. Right. So God provided a videographer, photographer, like everything, like literally a promo guy, like every single thing that I needed to do this was there. I mean, I remember as a kid, I was super I would create little videos of myself. I would literally, this is so cringe. I would literally I have a video on Instagram of it. I sat in a chair and recorded myself, an interview of myself, and talked to this side of the room like I was talking to somebody. Yeah, because you remember this. That was me. That was how I just put things together, and I wanted to be an artist so bad, and wow. That's what I did. It was so cringe, but anyways.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah,
Look, I used to have a YouTube channel. I did Minecraft videos.
Dude, I did Minecraft videos too. Yes, bro. That the OGs do Minecraft videos. Yes. Anyways, but this song "Bury Myself" was crazy. So we made the music video, right? There was a restaurant that we always went to when I was sick, right? And I knew the owner really well. Side note, the owner, because I was sick and knew what I was going through, he literally gave me a brand new Nintendo Switch when I was sitting there one day and having,
What?
and I was like 16. No, like 15, 16. Now, this is a super detailed part of my story. It might not matter too much, but I had a super bad like sensory issues. So like everything, like any clothes that I was wearing, any sounds, anything would really. I remember, I had all these things, and I remember sitting in my chair in my studio, and I remember the fan going above me, and it made me so mad, like so mad. I was like angry, like deep anger, just those sensory things. So all I would wear was like pajamas, right? Like really soft pajamas. I had to actually use a cane during this time too, because like, you know, there was times where I was in bed for a long time, then there was times where I would use a cane. So if you picture it, a 16-year-old kid in pajamas, I mean, it's kind of funny, but it's crazy. Like I'm in pajamas, I have a freaking cane, and I'm 16, dude. And I walk into this restaurant, and you know, obviously my tics are happening. That's a weird thing,
Right.
Even me now, if I saw that, I would know, like, okay, something's wrong. But at that time, bro, that's not normal. So I went into the restaurant, and we sat down, and there was this guy behind me that was really ticked off that I was twitching, and I guess I was moving the booth or something. I had a tick in my left arm. They migrate all over. And he got up with his friend, whoever he was sitting with, and he moved to the other side of the room, came back to grab his rest of his silverware. He literally put his hand on the table and looked at me in the face. He's like, "Now you can bump all you want, kid." And I was like, whoa.
This was
Whoa.
you recreated this in a music video.
That's not fake. That was what
I
happened.
remember this.
That's
You
really what
created
happened.
it. Yeah.
And my mom like just looked at him, and we literally didn't say anything. It was just like whoa, like it's crazy. People can be so mean. This is the beginning of people being super rude to me out in public. When I say rude, I'm saying like literally speaking up and saying things in public places of just like, "Oh, what's wrong, kid? You got the hiccups? Like, what the frick is wrong?" Like, oh, it's wild, dude. It's wild. It's wild. Oh yeah. Like literally they'll be so mean. It's insane. It's insane how mean people are. It's wild. People think I'm doing that as something to annoy them. But it's not. Like,
That's just crazy to me.
it is.
How would you not?
Yeah, it's
It's a lot
like,
of effort for a little attention.
Yeah.
yeah, it's wild, dude. So having Tourette's, I made this song, made the video, and it ends up just it really does well. It's my most well-received song. Like now I think it has over 500,000 streams, and it's doing really well. Obviously it's not like insane, but like that's big for me. And
There's 500,000 more streams than I've got.
Hey, I mean, dude, it was awesome though. But having Tourette's has really made me be more of an introvert and be. As a kid, I never really fit into like Bible studies or Bible groups, or like never went to those things, because every time I went, I just felt like an outcast. This is why, and again, I say these things not as a woe is me, but when I write my songs, most of them are about depressing topics. I'm just gonna be real.
Yeah. Right.
Most of them are about my issues with people and trust, and because I have been burned a billion times by people who I put so much trust in, and then they ruined that. And I'm still learning now. Literally the only person that I can trust is Jesus. That's it. There's nothing else. I can't trust in any other person, but I still do it, and I still mess up, and I still learn, oh my gosh, like I trusted you way too quick, and then you broke it. You broke this trust that I had in you. But yeah, it just made me really be like kind of recluse. Cause yeah, when I go out in public, it's like, you're afraid somebody's gonna say something. Somebody does say something. it would literally ruin my entire day when somebody said something. I came back home, like literally just gauging the lines in stores of like, it might be too long of a line to stand in because I'm ticking. People are looking behind me like, what is going on? And I get it.
Yeah.
If somebody makes a sound, you're gonna look, and that still bothered me. But I understand it more now. But like, you can look, but like, be careful, like what you're like, how you look. Because if you look and you're like, you know, and you like, just the facial expressions on top of whatever
The body
things have
language
said.
give it away.
Yeah, body language is like one thing, but like, you know, it's been a whole verbal, like with people out in public.
Yeah.
I'd say my case of Tourette's is decently severe. I mean, you know, and you hear it. It's unhideable. I have had to learn to be okay with myself and be comfortable with myself. For the longest time, I tried to hide it. Once I opened up about Tourette's and became okay with it, that's when things started to move for me in my career and in my life. I remember my friend told me I should make beats out of my tics, right?
Yeah.
This is insane.
I should make beats out of my tics, right? And I did. And this is when I started to gain a following on TikTok. Like tens of thousands of views just started to pour in out of nowhere. And at this time, I was doing more like Christian hip hop stuff. And I remember the first video I posted of doing that, Lecrae commented, Lecrae reposted, Andy Mineo shared. The next couple ones after that, he shared all these Christian hip hop legends, like literally, like I'm talking like everybody. They were commenting, liking, like this post blew up. I never had virality or like a buzz, like, you know what I mean, at this time, so I didn't know. So seeing Lecrae, somebody literally unhealthily looked up to as like a god, to repost on his story in front of 2 million people, like it was insane. It was like, whoa, like this is wild. But when I opened up and let go, that's when and I'm learning that even now, when you open up and let go and give it to God, I think that's when he can really move. So I let go, and that's what happened. And things just start to go further. And then I have this idea, right? There was a person that I met at a Christian camp that I used to live at, and his name is Chris, and he has a rare disability called torsal dystonia. So it twists your whole torso, so he can't walk normal, and he can't talk normal, and he has to use a colostomy bag and all that type of stuff. I remember when I was 9 and I met him before I had gone through any of this stuff, I remember feeling some sort of like I felt so bad, but I felt so like connected to him, like spiritually. I was like, why do I feel this way? But I remember when I got older, I reconnected with him and I said, I'm going to see if I can get us in to do Convocation at Liberty.
Shoot.
So I take his book that he has, and I knew Jonathan Falwell, you know, and I went into his office, gave the book to Jonathan, and I said, okay, so I would love to get Chris in to come speak. And Jonathan, before I even could say it, literally said, and you to perform. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yeah, okay. By the way, he had only heard my first EP. That sucked. But he
thought he was good enough.
He was okay with putting me on a stage in front of 13,000 people based on that. I was like, whoa. Because I had released way more music at that point.
Yeah.
That was way better. My EP sucked. But he was like, yeah, I got that CD that you had. And I was like, what? That thing sucked. But he was like, and you to perform, fills in the sentence. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, where are you talking about? He's like, Convocation. I think our students would love it. And I was like, oh, whoa. So this was in November, on the 1st of November in 2021. And February rolls around. And we do Convocation. So Chris is speaking. He ties in my song Bury Myself that I performed. I performed Deja Vu that came out that day and Bury Myself. He ties in his message with Bury Myself. And some students thought it was like the best combo of the year. I thought it was pretty cool because of the synergy that we had. It was a lot of times you don't hear from people with disabilities, I feel like. So having somebody like I have Tourette's and he has this disability, us coming together and it being this whole theme of like don't treat other people different because of what they look like or whatever. I thought it was really crazy. And then so things were really crazy after that, man. It was wild. Being up on that stage, like I remember feeling the most at like home ever, because being on that stage, you got to understand, when I perform, I haven't said this, but when I perform, my tics go away. So that's like euphoric performing for me. Wow. When I'm up on stage, they go away, and I feel it's weird because I'm in front of people, and you would think that you would make you feel more shy. When I'm up on stage, I feel like I can be myself more than I am just talking.
So you're not like nervous. You just get up there and
dude, I've been way more nervous for a show with 10 people than a show in front of 13,000. There was,
my gosh.
And this is all God. This is all God. This is not me. This is God. But like being up on that stage in front of 13,000 people, no nerves at all. I was so comfortable. I was like, I would like to be up here for 2 hours, man. This would be great. Like I loved it. Man.
You could do your EP, man.
Yeah. Do that trash EP. So, anyways, but that was wild. And during this time, I'm starting to see my numbers going up, and I'm starting to see a lot of streams happening. Music is my full-time job at this point. And what keeps me going is seeing people's the impact that it has, right? I just remember, literally for the first like year, I would screenshot every message that somebody would send me. They would literally send me a paragraph of just like, dude, I feel like I've been in the most worst time of my life. I'm so depressed, but your song really pulled me through and helped me. There was this one guy that reached out to me one time, and he was like, he told me that he was about to kill himself. And before that happened, one of my songs came on, and God told him not to do it. And I was like, whoa, like that's crazy. Because I've been right where you are. And to hear how this music is impacting somebody to God to use it for them to not hurt themselves was like, wow, that's full circle. It was full circle. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So getting these messages is wild. And then Convocation, they asked me to come back again a year later and open up for Toby Mac. And then I was like,
I was at that one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I had met you guys before.
I was filming that one.
Yeah, and you were filming
myself
that one.
and Hunter.
Foreshadowing for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
Actually
filming
crazy.
it. You killed it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I opened up for Toby Mac. That was wild. Super fun. But yeah, dude, things have been things have been wild. I keep doing music, and I'm working on all that. I've been investing so much time into social media and growing myself for the last 9 months, and I will say, more than me being sick, I have grown the most that I have as a human being and spiritually in the last 9 months.
Wow.
God
This whole 2024. essentially.
God has used this social media thing because, okay, I'll go into this for a second.
Feel free.
If I didn't get 100 likes on a post, at least, I'd feel like an absolute failure, right? So my posts started to go, this is so vain, but it's like, I'm not going to shy away from how I have been. If I didn't get 100 likes or at least on a post, I'd be like, all right, I'm a failure. Nobody likes me. Everything, since I was a little kid, people would laugh at me in school because of my Tourette's, and I put on a whole persona. Even my family noticed it, and they like had to like bring me out. Like I put on a persona and faked who I was to fit in with everybody. So I just felt super, always like this outcast that like, didn't fit in. But where was I? What did I say before that? I forgot what I said before that.
How in the last 9 months you had grown the most mentally and spiritually.
I was trying to think where I was going with that. I went off topic real quick.
Rolling on a
Bro,
rabbit
this is
trail.
what happens when I go off topic. This is what happens because I get all in this rabbit trail and then I freaking forget everything I was saying.
Oh.
You were saying
Anyways.
you're saying that was started getting vain because the likes started going down.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot.
No, I got you. Oh, I'm paying attention. I'm paying attention, guys.
Thank you. You're a G.
Of course.
Anyways, so yeah, feeling like that in 8th grade and feeling like I had to fit in, right? That ties into this need for people's attention and want for people's attention. And my posts started to get less views, less likes. Started to get, I'll just be a super real, like 28 likes a post or like 30 likes a post or, like literally like going down. And I had, like, through the last 9 months, I've had to stop putting my identity in that. It was literally like my identity was like married to likes and people's attention. And I had to like, God has had to like rip that out in a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way. Cause like now, like it's still like, I'm like, dude, I put in so much work and I don't get this amount of likes for it. It's still like, okay, obviously I want there to be more. Of course I do. But at this point, if it gets 28 likes or if it gets 5,000 likes, at this point, it's like, that has nothing to do with my identity, dude. I don't care. Like, what's wild is like this whole social media thing. Like when I started doing beats out of my tics, like there was like people that would comment and be like, you don't have Tourette's and you're like just bullying, like wild, dude.
You don't have Tourette's.
Yeah, literally.
You made that up.
Yeah, literally. It's wild, dude. It's wild what people say. But it was this, like, this is something I have, dude, I'm sharing everything today that I haven't shared.
Dude,
but I
getting
love
the
it.
expose. Really hope there's
Getting the
hope it's
exposed.
recorded.
This is something that I, like, again, haven't shared. I'm literally, like, I'm sharing everything that I haven't, like, typically shared. Like, okay, being a musician, I've had a lot of interviews and podcasts and different things where I've shared my story. But, like, there's been things that I've left out just for certain reasons, right?
Yeah.
But, like, I'm taking y'all on what I'm dealing with today, right? Instead of what I have been on the past. So, being in 8th grade and wanting to fit in, doing music, then getting this insane driven desire to make it and be successful, my identity had started to be wrapped up in wanting fame, right? And for the longest time, this is, again, I was so scared to say that to people. I'm really proud and praise God that I'm able to say that today. But like, I still struggle with that, wanting fame. Like, that's something that has been a deep-seated root and desire in my heart since I was in 8th grade, right? And a lot of people look at that and they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're just so vain, so stupid. But like, dude, like, it's just my struggle that I go through. Like, when I'm out in public, I have been ridiculed so much. So now when I go out in public, being in a small city and being performed in front of 13,000 people twice and having all the people that I know here.
People know you.
Yeah, when I go out in public now, when people come up to me and say, oh my gosh, are you, literally, and I'm not bragging. I'm just
I
saying,
had this happen. We were getting pizza. And
yeah,
they came up to you and said, do you make music?
Yeah, are you Isaac Mather? Do you make music? And I'm like, whoa. If I can, this is really deep, but like, I feed on that because I have been out in public and hated to be out in public for so long because of what people were going to ridicule me, how they're going to think of me. Now when people come up to me and they're like, do you do me? When they notice me for my music, not for Tourette's, that's what I feed on. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's a blessing from God that he's allowed me to be able to have an impact that people come up to me. I'm super thankful. It's even got the voice. Sometimes I'm literally just sitting in a parking lot and somebody's like, and I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? Because I don't want to roll down my window right now. And literally the other day I rolled down my window and he's like, are you Isaac Mather? I'm like, I've never met you in my life. I'm like, whoa. I was like, that's sick. Like, but that makes my day versus like other people like being mean. It ruined my day. But anyways, it's been this deep-seated root in my heart, wanting fame and wanting attention. And what I have learned in the past 9 months is that I do believe God has given me these dreams and a unquenchable desire to succeed. I do believe he's given me that. But for the longest time, I never submitted or surrendered to God because I thought that if I give it all to God, he's going to take it away. Because being a kid, and I saw everybody in ministry be like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to be a famous NFL player, and God switched me to be a missionary, and I'm broke."
For you, it was always like football players? For
No.
it was basketball players. Every time he's like, yeah, so I was going to be a basketball player. I was really good.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then something happened.
Exactly.
I was like, okay.
So I've had this love for music since I was 9. For me to do something that I love, and I know it's God's will. There are people around me, my counselor, everybody, that what has happened. I know this is God's will for my life. But for me to love what I do and be in God's will is, I'm sorry, but I don't see that often. I don't know. I'm still learning right now.
Yeah.
I don't see that often, and that just shows me how kind God is, because like I'm able to do what I love, make money doing what I love, impact people doing what I love, and this is God's will for my life. So wow, this is crazy. But I've had to struggle through like that want for fame and stuff. But I feel like this is a hot topic, but wanting fame, it's like wanting money. Money is not a bad thing. Fame is not a bad thing, right? But it's what you do with it. I want money. Of course I do. We all want money.
We have to.
We all want that bread. You know what I mean? I want fame. I do. I'm not gonna shy away from that anymore. I'm tired of doing that. But I believe surrendering to God's will and putting it in his hands. I do believe, even if it doesn't, this is what I've had to be okay with, is his will. Even if I don't get famous, God, I'm okay with that, because I want you more than I want that. Yes, I still want fame. Yes, I still want money. Yes, I still want this. But that was on the throne of my heart for so long. And God has had to really gently, he has done it, and praise God for that. But he has had to remove that idol from my heart of being, and I still struggle with it to this day. And I feel like, I just talked to my counselor yesterday. I feel like because I still struggle with it, God's not going to use me. Like, you still want fame, Isaac. That's terrible. I'm not using you until you fully don't want that anymore. I don't think that's the case. I still struggle with it, just like we still struggle with other things. You know what I mean? But I've really been in a place of trying to be surrendering to God, even if I'm not famous. But I do believe God has given me the ability. Most people, I'm just being honest, most people would be afraid to be on stage in front of 13,000 people. I'm totally okay with that because of God.
Yeah.
But I believe he's given me that to do big things with that. I'm okay to do that. I want to proclaim the name of Jesus and share my story in front of 60,000 people. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. But I believe he's given me these dreams and these massive, massive goals. I mean, you know, to say them to anybody, they'd be like, you're never going to achieve that. But I believe, how can people in the world who are celebrating Satan get so big? We serve a God who's way bigger than that. Why can't we do bigger stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
I'm so tired of like that mindset, and I had to really break out of that. So, but I really believe surrendering to God and submitting to his will, I believe that he's going to allow me to be able to be on a stage in front of 60,000 people. I do believe that. I do. That's what I believe. That's my goals. And, you know, in Deuteronomy, it says, I was just reading, like, I've been trying to read my Bible a lot more lately. It says, you know, if you obey my commandments, I will set you high above everybody else, right? So it says in Deuteronomy, if you, I will. My dad always says, if you, I will. You know what I mean? Like, so there's a lot of like faith I've had to put in God to be like, all right, I'm going to surrender to you, and you do what you want in my life, but this is what I want, and I pray that you would do that. And to me, I'll end it here. Like, I believe that God will do those desires of my heart that I've wanted to do, and I've had to really make sure that God is first. Everybody has said that, everybody's told me that, but it's not until you really know it and really God is number one in your heart, right? I still struggle with that. I will never say that's God is number one and that's it. That's all. I struggle with that literally every single day. It's a battle of, okay, I don't really want to follow God's will today. I want to do what I want to do. There's been, I'm not going to like fake out on this. Like, dude, there's literally been even recently times of like, should I just not go with God and do this on my own? Because maybe I could have more success doing it on my own. That's how bad I want success. Like, dude, I want to be successful. Maybe God's preventing me from that. But I believe that making the choice of surrendering is where God can move the most. So I do believe that he will allow me to do these dreams that I've had. I believe it's a desire that he's given me to be able to do these big things. Like, I want to be a world changer. Like, and I believe that surrendering to his will, he'll allow that to happen. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean if I want a Lamborghini and surrender to God's will that he's going to give me one next day and the next day. You know what I mean? But like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, it's crazy to hear your story and just how it's, I mean, and now you have such a big circle of people around you who love you and support you. It's actually insane, from, photographers to videographers to creatives to just friends. I mean, it's actually insane to see how you went from, not that many people around you to a whole network around you now. So,
wild.
well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I learned some new stuff today.
Thank you for listening to me ramble.
No, it's
over an hour and a half.
Yeah. Do we have any more coffee? I got some watered down.
I got some water.
Dude, I have some ice.
I've got nothing.
I've
I've got a little.
I got some ice.
I got ice on his neck right now. Why don't we just give a big high five to kind of close things
Give a
off
big
today?
high five, guys.
Wait,
1, 2, 3.
Wait,
What?
Wait 1 second. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your story today.
I feel like I'm pledging allegiance or something.
I know.
I know.
You are one of the best yappers I know, and I love you,
Dude,
for it.
we are the Yapper Gang.
Let's go. Oh, yeah.